Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic High Priestess here, and I wanted to make a video today, happy Wednesday, about Louisiana Voodoo, which is different from Haitian Voodoo. So Louisiana Voodoo comes from New Orleans, and as I had talked before on the previous video, when they were enslaving the Africans from Africa and bringing them into the New World, um, there was the Dahomey tribe, which practiced voodoo, which is a Fon word, which means spirits, of the spirits. Um, and they were captured, and they mostly came from the Dahomey tribe, West Africa and Central Africa. So when they were being enslaved, they wanted to keep their religious practices alive. And unlike certain other parts of the South, where most people were Protestant, and that's why the practices of hoodoo was done there. In New Orleans, it was kind of different. Not that one form of slavery, like I'm not trying to compare like that because I'm not going to compare. They suffered, but the French weren't separating families like they did in other parts of the South. The French actually kept most of the families intact. Not saying that none of them ever sold other people away. I'm just saying that for the most part in Louisiana, they kept most of the families together. So therefore, family members were able to pass down remedies, floor washes, rituals. They were able to pass down stories of their religious practices and things like that. Versus in the other part of the South where families were always separated, it was hard to keep certain traditions going, so they had to reinvent things. In Louisiana, they were able to still practice voodoo. However, they had to lie because there was more Catholicism in New Orleans. So they were able to honor, they do not worship the Loas because they believe in one supreme God, and that God gave the Loas, the spirits, these spiritual entities, power to help us in our everyday life. So someone who practices voodoo, instead of petitioning God, they petition the Loas, which are the ancestors, which are spirits. And these Loas were synchronized with Catholic saints. In Louisiana Voodoo, there are those also that serve the Orishas, the seven African powers. And they will sometimes even be in the same rituals with the Loas, which in Haitian Voodoo, they specifically just work with Loas. In New Orleans Voodoo, they also work with the Orishas, okay? A lot of people also mix New Orleans Voodoo with Hoodoo. And again, Hoodoo is a different practice. There were no saints to be synchronized with deities, so they had their own deities and Bible magic and things that I talked about in my previous video. But the difference between Louisiana Voodoo and regular Voodoo is that in New Orleans Voodoo, they do have Hoodoo practices that are infused with Louisiana Voodoo. So it's more, it's like, I think of Louisiana Voodoo kind of like a gumbo. Even though its foundation is still there, they were able to incorporate other things. They even were able to incorporate certain Native American practices as well in Louisiana Voodoo. They had things like in Louisiana Voodoo that you don't really see in Haitian Voodoo, like gris gris bags, which is a Wolof term, and you had your Voodoo queens, okay? Where in Haitian Voodoo, you have your Mambos and your Hougans, which I'll get more into that on my next video. And you also have certain Hoodoo tools that are used in the New Orleans Voodoo rituals. There is a great reverence for Le Grand Zombie, which is more to do with New Orleans. It is the giant snake. They also have something called voodoo dolls in Louisiana Voodoo, which are usually used to heal or harm, but not like you see in Hollywood. They're not going there chopping, bending a doll's leg and then the person's leg detaches itself. Like that's no. Um, they also in Louisiana Voodoo, you had your voodoo queens, your priestesses, who had power over the people. They can either heal or harm or help to curse those that come to them. An example of a voodoo queen would be like Mary Laveau, the mother, and her daughter, which became even more powerful than her mother. The voodoo can be traced back to West Africa, Ghana, to Nigeria, mostly in Benin and the Fon ethnic group, because voodoo is a Fon word that's used for the spirits. That's what it means, for spirits. And in voodoo, the elders are very honored. You honor your elders. You honor the ones that came before you, like they do in many indigenous cultures. Elders are seen as someone that are of reverence because they have wisdom. They lived longer than us. Our ancestors are very honored because they walked this path before us. They've been through things, and you channel these ancestors. You channel these loas. The loas still take and can be channeled through one's body. They can possess a person, they can heal a person, they can give wisdom to the community. So the laws are not archetypes. The laws are alive. The laws still walk amongst the followers and the ones that keep the traditions and the ones that are descendants of these tribes. The Dahomey and the Benin tribe, the Fon tribe, were very powerful people. In the Dahomey tribe, women fought alongside of the men, and women were also warriors like men. Um, in Louisiana, slavery was a little different as well. Not only was it they were able to pass down a lot of traditions from to family, because a lot of them kept together. You also had a population of free people of color. There was a lot of a huge African population versus the European population. It was a ratio of 2 to 1, so there was double the population of the Eurocentric people. And the free people of color were the ones that went on to become voodoo queens and leaders, and they were able to incorporate new traditions like Lee Grande Zombie and the Greek grease bag and the voodoo dolls, like I had said earlier, and things like that. So they were able to bring their deities and their loas from across the oceans and create a whole new tradition while still incorporating old traditions in this beautiful mishmash of African spirituality that you could still see in New Orleans today. You're gonna have your people that still practice it the way it was supposed to be practiced, and then you have those, like in anything, you have your charlatans, you have your people that mesh more of the new age and things like that. And like a lot of religions, sometimes people bastardize it, but there are those who are the truth keepers. There are those that still practice it to its truest form, and things like that. So yeah, I wanted to do this video and share that with you guys, and just wanted to clarify the differences. Louisiana voodoo is not the same thing as Haitian voodoo. Um, there's a lot of people in New Orleans that may not even have African descendancy that practice Louisiana voodoo, versus in Haitian voodoo, that is in Haiti, and that is one of the African traditional religions that have been kept the most secret and very pure. It's Haitian voodoo is very pure, which I kind of like that actually. But anyways, much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. And until the next video, guys, I appreciate you watching this. And next week, I'm going to talk about Haitian voodoo. So please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below and let me know what you think of this video. Bye.